Hi, my name is Rodrigo. I'm one of the co-founders of Modatta, and we are changing how you value data privacy. Every year, your personal data fuels a market that is worth more than $500 billion. So it's only fair to ask, how much money did you make from your data? Ever? Nothing, right? I know this is not fair, but trust me, it is much worse for companies. And let me tell you why. All of this effort is being tracked in a guessing game. A guessing game companies have to play every day to guess who their customers are, what they want, and how to reach them. And they do this by investing in web and mobile ads or buying big sets of data and analyzing it. But there's a huge catch. If we look at the best performing player in the field, Google search, they can only promise you less than 4% click-through rates, which means that in order to reach 4 people that might want to hear what you have to say, you have to annoy 96 in the process. And that's not only inefficient, but you still have to deal with that. Sorry, but you may damage your brand in the long run. Buying data and analyzing it has become super risky, and you have to deal with inaccurate and outdated information. And this happens because those services are built on bad data and bad principles. We know big data hold our data, but big companies hold our data, but they don't really hold our profile. If we think about it, Google doesn't know what Facebook knows. Facebook doesn't know what eBay knows. eBay doesn't know what our bank knows, and so on and so on and so on. So they can really only guess bits and pieces of who we really are. And as individuals, we are not part of any of those solutions. We know our data is being used, but we have no idea who is using it and how. So what happens is this leads companies to remain in a constant compliance violation risk. They're forced to engage in an intrusive relationship with their potential customer based on pure guessing, where they have little to no visibility on the return on investment on their marketing initiatives. As individuals, we know we have no control on how our data is used. There's no such thing as privacy. We realized our data has been used to target us with information we don't care about, and we've been completely cut out of the data market. So we thought there has to be a better way. How can we bring privacy, knowledge, and value through data in a way that everybody benefits? So we started Modatta with a very simple principle. If our data is ours, it should be with us. So we built Modatta around the fact that each individual, each user, would hold their data on their phone, not some server, not some cloud somewhere. And what Modatta set out to do was apply its technology to allow the user to get all his data into his phone and extract the same value big tech companies get from your data on a centralized environment, but do it on a fully private, fully decentralized environment, getting all that knowledge and all that value directly into the user's hands. So Modatta has a decentralized marketplace where we allow companies and users to relate and interact. Companies access through a web portal, and users use Modatta by a mobile app. So what we allow a company to do is relate to their potential customers from beginning to the end of their relationship, creating a relationship that is positive and based on respect. We allow the company to interact with the customer, covering every aspect of their relationship from the first contact until the last, including their needs on awareness, generating leads, generating sales, loyalty, big data, and analytics. So how does this work? Let's say you're a company, you have this really cool new product, and you have a promo video you want to show to a very specific segment of users. Instead of paying for an ad, which you would typically do, we allow you to pay for an actual business interaction. In this case, getting the right people to watch your video until the end without interruption. So you decide how much their interaction is worth, in this case 25 cents, and you launch it on our platform, and it is Modatta's responsibility to make sure that only the right people receive your offer. Jeff, that has our app and fits the profile, will receive the offer, know exactly what Fast Banana expects of him, what's in it for him, and how his data is going to be used. And that's how we allow Jeff to make an educated decision whether to accept the offer or reject it. If he rejects the offer, no harm done. But if he accepts the offer, Modatta will make sure he follows through the interaction until the end, so that business value is generated for Fast Banana, he will get paid, and that's the point when Modatta will receive a fee. And that's how we're going to make money. So what we are doing is we are fueling an economy of fairness. allowing companies to reach their potential customers in a privacy-friendly, fully compliant way, where they can use literally any data points they need, while showing respect for their potential customers, bringing back some goodwill for their brands, and by keeping total control on the return on investments on their marketing initiatives. On the individual sides, we are always in control. Data never leaves our hands. We apply advanced AI algorithms to extract insights and knowledge and deliver it directly to the user. And then we allow the user to get all of this information and all of this knowledge and monetize it by relating with companies they care about, generating an additional income. When we look at our competition, we realize that we are actually dealing with 4 different spaces. So we are acting on the digital ad space, on the performance marketing, what we call the new generation data brokers and the new generation market research. And by new generation, we mean those startups that are actually breaking those business models and are already democratizing and distributing revenue between the data owners. But when we look at it, the top players on each of those fields, we realize Modatta is the only one acting on all 4 areas and is the only one that can offer true privacy, where individuals really own and control their data with unprecedented data quality, and where we make sure that companies and individuals can relate during the entire phases of the relationship. We have already started to build our community and test our solutions. So early last year, we launched our private and public beta. We passed the 100,000 user marks in a little over 6 months with an average of 10% growth rate per week. And this allowed us to validate key assumptions, like probably the most important one being that individuals are actually willing to proactively share and monetize their data by interacting with companies they care about. On the company side, we were able to test real use cases with real paying customers, and we realized that we passed all of their expectations throughout the entire sales funnel. So this journey started late 2018. We started with the ideation process, moved to the prototyping, where we learned a lot. We started to focus on product development. And July last year, we were accepted by Indico's Pre-Seed Acceleration Program. And that really gave us the tools to focus on building the team and really focus on product development. Right now, we are establishing the partnerships we need and creating the use cases we want to implement when we go to markets on April this year. We have been fortunate enough to build a strong network. So we are part of Microsoft for Startups, of Google for Startups. We have key partnerships with top enterprise companies, with the big lawyer firms to make sure our business model is solid. And we have partnerships with universities to bring both talent and academic know-how into our solutions. We have always also been fortunate enough to receive some important recognitions we are very proud of, like winning the WSA Global Awards for being aligned with the UN SDG, or more recently receiving the Seal of Excellence from the European Commission. Last year, we closed our pre-seed round led by Indico Capital Partners, including Core Angel Networks and Chile Capital Partners. We bootstrapped most of the way, my co-founder and me, and last year we were able to build our team, and today we are a very experienced team with experience that goes from business to technology and sales. And one of the things we feel is very important is that we have working experience in top B2C industries we feel our customers are going to fit into. What we want to do in April this year is be ready to implement real use cases that solve real business pains, like getting qualified app installs for startups, or generating traffic for e-commerce retail store, or leads and sales for service providers, generating intelligence for market research companies, or even driving traffic and sales for offline businesses like store or restaurants. And in order to do this, we are raising a seed round during this first semester. So if you feel you fit our mission and our vision, please join us by bringing people and companies together, building the largest decentralized database of consented personal data, promoting privacy into every touch point, enabling online and offline interactions that translates to actual business value. So thank you, and join us by changing how we value our data privacy. And we are open for questions.
Cool, yeah, happy to go ahead. Thanks for the presentation. First question would be like, how significant is the economic advantage for your users in the early stages of the platform? How much will they earn, or put differently, will they get enough value on the app whilst you're still onboarding the demand side, the companies, in order for the users to remain on the platform?
Great question. So a couple of things. So on our MVP, we were only focused on money. And we realized that only focusing on money is, one, leaving away a big part of it, which is all the value you can get from your data, and really creating a lot of expectations from a lot of companies that are going to want to interact with you and make you money, right? So we really, when we launch in April 21, we'll be ready to give you much more than just money for your data. We'll be ready to give you insights and knowledge that otherwise you wouldn't be able to access. Money-wise, there's a lot of other ways we are exploring to give you that financial incentive, like our member get member program, where we pay you to invite people in, and a recommendation system that we are implementing to make sure you can act as an influencer from the offers you receive, right? What we saw, based on what we saw, we estimate that a user can make something between 200 euros and 2,000 euros a year, depending on how valuable you are to companies, because we are not all worth the same to companies, right? So if you have kids, you're worth something to some companies. If you're a teenager, you're worth something to other companies. So our value changes. But we do believe that there's enough to make it interesting for everybody.
Thanks.
Andre, congratulations. Really, really nice presentation. I really like it.
Thank you very much.
I was trying to download your app. I'm from Spain and I couldn't do it. When are you expecting to make it available in other countries, and what are your plans for international? Like, are you going to be able to make it international wise? And then I had another question. You said this is an MVP. Did you go to market already and you have revenue?
Okay, so thank you for both questions. We launched an MVP and we did paid pilots. So our idea was to test the market and really make sure we are touching the right points, right? So we do have little revenue, but always on proof of concept aspects. We expect to fully go to market on April this year. As for the internationalization, so our idea is to, when we move to, so consolidate in Portugal, probably during 2021, and 2022, we want to start looking at Spain and UK as the next markets. And what we have planned is to, by going to Spain and UK, grow enough user base so that we can then start growing to the rest of the EU. Europe is obviously going to be our first goal, and then try to jump overseas and start thinking about the US. Brazil, for example, is a huge market for us, and so on and so on. So hopefully next year you have the app ready for Spain.
Yeah, for sure.
Rodrigo, just to add something else regarding our pilot. We were lucky enough to have around 20 companies using our platform, making lots of offers, and those companies were also using our platform more than once. So we had companies using the platform more often. Okay, just to be clear on that.
Okay.
Hey, Rodrigo, it's Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Good morning from Kauai. You might hear the roosters. They weren't around when I started the call, but they're starting to wake up now.
You're welcome.
A couple questions for you. Number one, it seems like encryption is going to be a huge part, and security is going to be a huge part of what you're building into the product and the platform to protect the user data. So if I sign on, I want to make sure that somebody's not going to hack you and get all my personal profile that none of these big companies have right now, right? How are you addressing that?
Well, the first way we are addressing it directly is we don't have any data. So Modatta literally has no data on you, zero data on you. All your information is on your phone. So the ability that someone with bad intention has on committing a great hack is very limited, because they will have to hack a lot of different phones and get that information. Inside that information, your phone, we are working to secure your information as much as the phone providers allow us. So as much as Google and Apple allow us to do. So we're going to have several layers of security. But I would say for a short answer, the easiest way to keep your information secure is to keep it with you at all times.
Got it. And my second question was, when you did the pilot, what did you find were the main drivers in customer acquisition and getting both companies and clients, users on board?
Okay, so I'll start on the company side. Is the easiest question. This is 100% performance based. So if you think about it, there's no risk, right? The company will only have a cost if there's a direct business value, and they can translate that business value to anything they need. So trying out our platform is a no-brainer. There's no risk whatsoever. And that really appealed to companies. That's why they kept launching campaigns with us. Most of our companies launched more than one campaign. On the user side, we saw a very interesting networking effect with our member get member program, because we know there's a lot of companies promising that you can have an extra revenue with your information, but actually being able to receive money on your bank account, so being actually cash, not some discount, not some voucher, not some promise of future value, actually appealed to the users. So they weren't making that much money, but because it was real, because they really saw that value was being generated from their data, appealed to a lot of users, and it really created a really nice momentum that allowed us to grow that much.
So are you counting on network effect to build this out globally, or is there some marketing that goes along with it?
Actually, I'm going to call Eduardo to answer to that one. Martin is his area of expertise.
Okay, so what we're doing is that what we learned from our pilot is that most of the people that range from 18 to 25 years join our platform. So we are tackling the university space to create that community and buzz. So then we'll have companies to join us and create interactions with them. These interactions between companies and individuals will bring more university people to our platform. And because they create awareness in that space, we can then try and see and trying to build more segments. So basically we'll start with university space and build on top of them. And we know that we are creating a new space. So having university students coming to our platform is very good.
Thank you so much, everyone. Almudena, Bill, and Philip. Great to see you all. Thank you, Modatta. Let's move on and now hear our next startup, Analytics.